Have you noticed that the Cross Guild is the only crew with two pirates who have bounties over 3 billion berries? Even Crocodile has a higher bounty than all known first commanders in One Piece. The combined bounties of these three members are even higher than the total bounties of the Straw Hat crew. There are other strong members like Daz Bones as well, and I'm sure more powerful pirates will join soon, some of whom we know very well. In this video, I will show you other potential members of the Cross Guild and discuss the bounties of the entire crew. Let's start with the known ones. Buggy, the main leader of the Cross Guild, has a bounty of 3,189,000,000 berries, which may seem like a lot to you, and it's not surprising. Why does Buggy, who doesn't even have hockey as far as we know, have a higher bounty than Luffy? He even had the highest bounty increase in all of One Piece. The answer is simple. The Marines are working with surface level information. We always knew that the bounty doesn't always reflect a character's true strength, but in recent years bounties are not even about a character's dangerousness. Most of them are simply wrong. Luffy, Law, and Kid all got equal credit for defeating the two former emperors, which is why all three of them received bounties of 3 billion. So even though Luffy was the one who defeated Kaido while Law and Kid defeated Big Mom together, they all received the same bounty. Despite the fact that Luffy already had a bounty 3 times higher than the other two, Kid and Law got even bigger bounty increases than Luffy. Luffy escaped from Enies Lobby, Impel Down, and Marineford. He is one of the 4 emperors and is Nika, which poses an enormous threat to the world government. I'm sure he'll get a higher bounty after Egghead, but even now, him having a lower bounty than Buggy is very strange, though it is explainable. Buggy's bounty is a reflection of him being mistaken as the leader of the Cross Guild and having the power to command strong characters like Crocodile and Mihawk, as well as his past with Roger and Shanks. Additionally, Buggy has a much longer history as a pirate. He has been skilled at avoiding direct confrontation with the Marines and maintaining a relatively low profile compared to Luffy's more overt and confrontational approach. This has allowed him to evade capture for longer, further elevating his danger level. In the eyes of the world government, Buggy, a member of the Pirate King's crew, is still an active pirate 25 years later, leading Mihawk and Crocodile. His organization even puts bounties on Marines, reversing how pirates receive bounties from the world government. This puts all Marines in danger. We even saw T-Bone's death because of the system. So when we take these facts into consideration, his bounty doesn't seem so huge after all. Mihawk is the only pirate in One Piece whose bounty is higher than his own captain's. 3,590,000,000 berries is a logical amount for the world's strongest swordsman. In the past, Mihawk was called the Marine Hunter and had a renowned rivalry with Shanks. This is probably when Mihawk earned his title and bounty, because after becoming one of the Shichibukai, he did literally nothing. He was even too lazy to attend Shichibukai meetings, and people were surprised when he showed up at both Marijois and Marineford. Crocodile probably had the most logical bounty upgrade in all of One Piece. Even though we knew he was very strong, the fact that his frozen bounty was only 81 million berries was very strange even back then. Crocodile was the main antagonist of the Alabasta arc. His plan was to take over the country and gain access to Pluton. He nearly succeeded in his mission but was stopped by Luffy. I don't think anyone will argue if I say that Luffy had the biggest plot armor in those fights. Crocodile played a big role in both Impel Down and Marineford. He even saved Ace and Luffy. When the war ended, Crocodile went to the New World and his whereabouts remained unknown for a long time. Once the news about the Shichibukai being dissolved was revealed, Crocodile wasted no time in contacting Mihawk and forming the Cross Guild. The Marines couldn't overlook his actions anymore and increased Crocodile's bounty to 1,965,000,000 berries. Crocodile is one of my favorite characters, and I'm sure I'm not alone. I'm glad that he's back in the story again. Daz Bones is Crocodile's most trusted underling. After being defeated by Zoro, Daz Bones was imprisoned in Impel Down. During the prison break, Daz Bones joined Crocodile and he stayed with him ever since. Originally a bounty hunter from West Blue, Daz Bones was feared as the Killer. He is extremely proficient in hand-to-hand combat and possesses a powerful devil fruit that allows him to turn parts of his body into deadly steel blades, helping him avoid almost any kind of damage. His bounty, after the time skip, was revealed in the Vivre Card databook to be 75 million berries, which I think is very low for a character like him. I don't think it would rise much after joining the Cross Guild, maybe to 200 million berries maximum. Galdino, better known as Mr. 3, is a former Baroque Works employee and the primary antagonist of the Little Garden arc. Galdino's most important moment in the story is when he helped the Straw Hats by creating a key to free Ace. Galdino possesses the Doru Doru no Mi, which allows him to create wax. Galdino isn't much of a fighter, preferring to stay away from danger. His previous bounty was frozen because he was Buggy's subordinate, and Buggy was a Shichibukai at the time. His bounty was 24 million berries. I believe it would have increased to at least 150 million berries after the formation of the Cross Guild. There are other members like Moji and Kabaji, but even Oda himself didn't reveal their bounties, so let's move on to the more interesting part. The first and most logical candidate for joining the Cross Guild is, of course, Doflamingo, which is a former frozen bounty of 340 million berries. Daffy is one of the most important and beloved characters in the story. He was the king of the underworld, knows about the Marie-Joie treasure, and I'm sure he will be the one to reveal it. The fact that we saw him in Impel Down a few times even after he was captured is a clear hint that he will return to the story. He remains relevant despite being in prison. We have not seen this happen for any other character, not even for Crocodile. I'm one of many people who think the Cross Guild is going to be a somewhat new version of the Seven Warlords with Buggy at the helm. Despite having Mihawk and Crocodile, the Cross Guild is still the weakest of the four Emperor crews, and they definitely need to recruit more people. A stop at Impel Down would make sense for this. Crocodile and Buggy already broke out once, so a second attempt should be easier, especially since all this stuff is going down at Egghead, meaning the Navy has its hands full, and a raid on Impel Down would catch them off guard. Crocodile knows that Impel Down is one of the best places to find strong crew members. Doflamingo already offered Crocodile an alliance, so Crocodile knows that Doflamingo would agree to his terms, especially since he has no other choice to escape the prison. What would Doflamingo's bounty be? Crocodile and Doflamingo have done very similar things, but Daffy is probably still stronger, at least because he has Conqueror's Haki. In Dressrosa, he mocked the world government. He is also a former celestial dragon who knows the world government's secrets and was said to be the most influential figure in the underworld. I believe due to these reasons and after joining the Cross Guild, his bounty should reach at least 3 billion berries. We know that Weevil was captured by Green Bull, so he's probably imprisoned at Impel Down as well. If they take Doflamingo, they will likely take Weevil too. He would be the 5th Shichibukai of the crew. He doesn't bring much other than his strength, but he was said to be the son of Whitebeard and implied to be his clone, so him being the brute force of the crew would be perfect. Ms. Bakken could be his guide, and she would also bring a lot of knowledge and experience. Bon Clay is another possible option. We need him to return since we already have Mr. 0, Mr. 1, and Mr. 3, only Mr. 2 is missing. As we know, he's the new queen of level 5.5, and he would be key to the Cross Guild's success in Impel Down. He also has new followers who could join alongside him. He's not that strong, but he is the main reason Luffy and other prisoners escaped from Impel Down. That would raise his bounties significantly. Also, the world government will recognize that his devil fruit is pretty dangerous for them, so I expect a bounty of around 500 million berries. Another possible member is Marco. He is on his way to rescue Weevil. Marco joining the Cross Guild is unlikely, but it is possible. It would also be funny to see Buggy get Marco in his crew after he already rejected Shanks twice. His current bounty is 1,374 million berries, but after the Wano and Impel Down events, I believe it'll increase by 500 million. Last but not least, Moria and Perona. We saw that Perona infiltrated Hachinosu's prison. We don't know what happened there, but if Perona rescues Moria, she will clearly go to Mihawk because they don't have anywhere else to go. This would make Moria the 6th Shichibukai in the crew. I'd love to see Moria create a zombie army from every marine sold to them. Moria's frozen bounty was 320 million berries. After all the events with the Straw Hats and the time skip, I think it would have increased by at least 1 billion. Perona has no bounty, and it's for a very good reason. Think about her history in the story. She was the adopted daughter of a Shichibukai, which means her bounty would have been cancelled before she was old enough to even get one. And she immediately transferred from being under Moria's protection to being under Mihawk's, and she didn't do anything during those 2 years that would have earned her a bounty since she never even left the island. Even if she had left the island, she was under Mihawk's protection, who was a Shichibukai, so only now can she actually earn a bounty, and that would require her to do something to earn one. That's it for today. Write down in the comments who you think will join the Cross Guild. If you want to learn more about the Cross Guild and the Final War, you can watch this video right here. Thanks for watching.